body shaming, and how do you communicate bodily flaws without necessarily shaming somebody or without making them feel bad or breaking them down or like eliciting negative response from that person because they don't even understand what they're trying to communicate. So, on speaker, I talk about communication. So, how do you communicate bodily flaws without coming off as condescending, without coming off as someone who is just trying to maybe bring them down one way or the other? Let's say your friend. Okay, if I have body odor, for example, Thomas, and I don't,
which you don't.
but if I had or if I have body odor, how do you approach me to let me know as your friend? How do you approach me to let me know that, boy, you dey smell or you dey how do you say it politely without you get the point. Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I would like to talk about what body shaming is. Yes, it's that word that is used to bring people down because of their flaws, because of how they look, how they appear. You talk down on them. Yes, making them feel less of themselves. That is what body shaming is. And the situation of body shaming is actually a sensitive one, because in a polite and civilized society, you do not always have to bring people down, talk down on people because of how they look and how they are. That's why we are bringing this topic, so that we see how we can politely pass information to people, politely communicate with people about flaws they have. Yes, and like Emmanuel said, that brings the question: should you have a body odor? How will I communicate to you in such a way that you will not feel embarrassed?
First of all, as a friend.
Okay, as a friend.
We'll get to maybe outsiders or strangers if I thought you have the right to communicate that kind of thing. But as a friend, how do you approach me to let me know that?
Okay, it depends. It depends on the level of friendship and how close the bond of friendship is. For example, I could bluntly tell my very close friends, just I call it spade a spade. You get? I'll call it spade a spade. I'll tell them exactly how it is, and I know that they will not get angry. They will not feel embarrassed because it is we. Yes. Bro, you're doing this. You get body odor. Go and use roll-on, or go and shave, or go and do this. Yes, I'll tell them just the way it is. It depends on the level of friendship and the environment of friendship. I will try possible best to use a very polite way to pass the information. So Adibin, supposing you have body odor, and as a friend I want to pass the information to you, I could politely ask you, do you use roll-on? Do you use perfume? If you say yes, I would say, I guess you should use one.
That might be the end of a friendship, or just saying.
How does that sound? Does it sound?
I mean, it's smart, but for some people it might come off as I don't know, condescending as well. You think I should use one, so you think I'm smelling, Okay, I think it might be even easier when you're talking to a fellow guy, for example. Assuming you're talking to a female friend, would anything change in how you say it to present the entire thing? Even if they are like close pal, like intimate friend, will anything change about how you
the way I speak to a female friend is not the way I speak to a male friend. Women are very sensitive, and they can easily they're sensitive to information, especially pertaining to themselves. So despite the closeness of the friendship, it could hurt them deep inside. Yeah, so you have to be sensitive and careful the way you pass information. When talking to a lady, you have to think and rethink and process. Yes, before you speak it out. Otherwise, you end up begging. I'm sorry, I never meant it that way. Yes. So I didn't mean to be a lady. It's difficult because I'm still thinking, like I said, you have to think and rethink and process. So that's the process I am right now. I'm still thinking and rethinking.
But actually, that shows that there is like a gap between how men accept information.
Yes, of course.
How men accept the same information communicated in the same way, in the same manner. But a man will likely process it more maybe on the surface, wow, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm smelling, all right, let me buy roll on, or just like that. But for women, they might even just take it to heart and think that you are intentionally trying to bring them down. Now,
Yes.
this is my theory. It's not like a fact or like
Mm-mm.
something. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, you got what I mean. But um, talking about that now, you've mentioned that you have to be polite. So, how do you actually be polite? Because, like you said, I want to call a spade a spade. Why do I have to go through the corners just to tell you that you need to brush your teeth more often, or that you need to take your bath more often? How do I go through those corners? I mean, how many corners do I need to go through? What if they don't even understand the corner you're coming from? Like, you keep telling them, but
Okay, if I discover that my friend has body odor or mouth odor, I think I'll bring up a topic, casual conversation, and I'll bring up a topic, discuss between us. Yes. Okay. What do you think about this? Yes. Some people have body odor, and it's really disgusting. These or that. I will try to like have him or her participate in the conversation, and I'll bring suggestions on how. Yes, I can even ask. Has someone ever told you you have body odor? Um, yes, no. Okay, all right. If it says yes, and I said, what steps have you taken? If just thank God, I hear the word yes, yes. Okay, that means someone has told you. And how did you feel about it? What steps have you taken to ensure that you do not repeat that does not continue? Yes, then I can give suggestions on what to do and what to do. Then I can talk about how such body odor or such a thing can actually push people away.
I
Yes.
think it boils down to one thing. It's not always what was said, it's how it was said. So you can approach your friend and let them know that they have body odor, but how do you actually approach them? How did you say it? Did you come and say it is smell or something? I think it just boils down to how you present that information about their body odor or about their bodily flaws. Now let's move to weight. You know, one is it's not to have body odor and
Mm-hmm.
smelling. Nothing to be overweight or obese or just on the unhealthy part of weight, And maybe not even know that they're overweight to start with, they just think that it's normal, it's how I am, big and thick. And why we have so many terms these days to describe overweight instead of calling it what it is. Like, you can't use fat again on the internet.
No,
The people are
no.
going to
Yes.
destroy you with comments and bullying and all of that. So, how did we move from being able to communicate with ourselves directly to all these jargons and language and trying to water down everything just to fit into I'm trying not to say woke, but that's what it is. I think we're getting more woke than normal, or more woke than necessary. But we can no longer communicate what we should communicate because we're trying to fit into what is acceptable. So if someone is fat, why can't we tell them that you're fat? Because you can meet somebody now and say, wow, you are very tall, and okay,
Mm-hmm. And it's normal.
it's
There's
normal.
nothing. There's no negativity
You're
attached to tallness.
you are lean, you are slim and
Yes.
tall, and but
Mm.
once it's
Instead of saying slim or lean, you can use lean. Lean sounds sounds negative. You can rather say look fit.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
But I don't think fitness depends on
On
you know
the
leanness and
yes.
slenderness of the body, and well, it depends. That's a different topic. But yeah, how did we come to this point where we can no longer communicate directly to one another? You just have to cut through so many corners just to tell you that you need to start exercising, or you need to cut down on calories, or whatever I need to do to shed some pounds. How did we get here? How do you think we
You
got
know,
here?
like I said earlier, we are no more living in ancients. We are living in a modern and civilized society. And living in a modern and civilized society, we always have the right way to pass message in a civilized way in order not to get someone offended. You get.
Yeah.
So we always have look for that way. We pass the right message, but in a polite way to someone. That's
Are
why.
you trying to say that we are more polite now compared to before?
Obviously,
Or
yes.
are we losing courage to face the
I
truth?
don't think it's losing courage to say the truth. I think it's politeness. Yes, it's politeness. For example, when I was discussing with a friend today, and he said something which was obviously not the truth, and I said, I wanted to say you are lying, and I discovered I'm in the office.
Yeah.
Yes, so I needed to use the office and a more formal word. So I asked a colleague, it was just a casual setting, so I asked a colleague, how do I tell someone you are lying? And she quickly told me, she said, I don't think what you're saying is true. Is that what she said? Something?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yes. So she told me the right thing to say. And I was like, we are just laughing over it. Yes. Before someone takes offense, you get. So always looking for that polite word expression to use to pass the right information in order not to provoke someone. That is how I see it. Not courage to say the truth. No.
Okay, well, let's get to hear what our audience think in case they have their own contributions. Everyone, if you want to contribute to this conversation, have maybe your own way of communicating bodily flaws, body odor, overweight. Say someone in your family is obese, I want to let them know that you need to work on your weight. Or if somebody's mouth is oozing, I want to let them know how do you communicate that personally. Call us on 091 5898. Again, 091 5898. You can also send a WhatsApp message or call us on WhatsApp or send a text message through the same number 091 5898. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back everyone to Speak Right, aka Cryptis Corner here on NYC Radio 88.3 FM Abuja. I'm still Emmanuel Ebo and I have Thomas Joseph in the studio. We'll be talking about body shaming, how to communicate bodily flaws without coming off as condescending or putting people down. No, that's what we're talking about today. And so far, we focused on communicating with or to friends, people that we are cordial with. So, what if that person is like a stranger, a colleague, or somebody who is not just close to you that way? How do you communicate to them that something is wrong with them, with their mouth or with their body or somehow anything you notice about them? In fact, are you even supposed to communicate that kind of thing to people? Are you allowed to? Let's start from there. Thomas, do you think people are allowed to communicate bodily flaws to people that they are not cordial with?
Okay, so I think I'm talking about bodily odor and communicating bodily odor, bodily flaws to someone you're not cordial with. It depends, one, on the environment and the settings. For example, if you walk past someone on the street and you perceive body odor, you you wouldn't tell the person, bro, you smell bad. Your life may not remain the same. This is Nigeria. People are angry. The street is not happy at all. People are struggling how to have food. Some don't pay attention to themselves, and they don't even care. They don't think it's necessary. And you're there to tell them. Maybe you walk past with your suit. They see you like you're well-to-do, which the street is angry when they see people living well. Yes, and you walk past with your suit and you say you're smelling bad. Some will change it for you. So it depends on the environment. It also depends on the settings. Okay, it's obvious. It's very rampant.
Yeah.
If you're using public transportation, and it has always been an issue with me. So whenever I use public transportation, let's say I want to use a motorbike to where I'm going to, and I will stand on the road and look for people that at least dress better. Yes, because I'm very sensitive to smell. I can't sit behind a cyclist, and the kind of whoozy smell coming out of the person chokes me. I dislike it with the money I'm paying you. So it's very annoying. So I have to look for a decent cyclists before I could call. Yes. So it's something that's, I think it's of concern to everyone.
Yeah.
Passing this information is not easy. It may not really be necessary you pass it to a stranger on the street, yes, whom you know from your observation that this one would not be polite or open to such conversation. But if it is in an office space, it might be your colleague you're not really close to, yes, but you feel the need to pass such information. I remember where I was working before. I walked past. It was in a hallway. I walked past, and this colleague of mine walked past me. The odor I perceived, it was very bad,
Enough to
and
kill a fish.
it can kill a fish, a bird. It was very bad, and I went back to my office. I was thinking of how will I pass this information. It's someone I talk to. I once in a while, if I walk past, we can just stand for a minute and talk and go my way to my office. And I was thinking of how will I pass this information. It's too young for this. A young man, having body odor like that. I thought of ways to pass this information. And I was also observing the kind of person he is if he's receptive to such corrections. Unfortunately, not quite long. Couple of days or a week, I didn't see him again. He resigned and went for further studies abroad, so he was not around again. So I just discarded that. So it's something that is of high concern to us, passing this information. If it's a colleague, and I know that you are someone that is receptive to changes, someone that does not always look at information in a negative light, I can call you and say, I'm sorry, there's something I want to tell you, but please don't take it as an offense.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know how you feel about this, but don't take it as an offense. I want to ask, do you use perfume? Yes or no. I can say I would suggest you use one. Please don't take it bad. Um, yes, I'll suggest you use one. I think that message is passed. If I say I'll suggest you use one, you should know what that means.
If someone randomly buys you a bottle of perfume in the office, would that suggest that they think he might be smelling or that he might have body odor? Would you feel
The
bad
other
about
day,
it?
a colleague, that just reminded me of something. A colleague came to me and said, Thomas, come close. Just come close. I said, what's that? He said, no, a female colleague. He said, come close. I said, what? She said, no, come close. I was like, what's happening? She said, just come close first. I went to a very close proximity and she told me, how do I smell? I said, I can't tell. I am not perceiving anything. She said, do you know what happened today? Someone walked past me and told me, young lady, what perfume do you use? Give me your account number. I want to buy you perfume. And he sent 40,000 naira for perfume. So she was thinking, do I smell bad that someone could
Just
send 40,000 naira for
Randomly.
perfume randomly? That's why she told me, come close. I wanted to perceive me. No, this I've never perceived her smelling bad.
Yeah.
Yes, she works with me. I've never perceived her smelling bad. So I was like, you see the information that is passed. So someone getting you a perfume could be a way to tell you smell bad. Or it could be that she does not even smell anything. She doesn't smell bad. She doesn't smell good. She's just neutral. And the person said, "No, you're too beautiful to be like this. You need to at least add that good smell, yes, to your dressing."
we have a message here from Maxwell from Central Area is saying, when you find something bad from someone, the way you talk to that person matters a lot. Thank you,
Obviously.
Maxwell, for your message. It
Yes.
matters. I want to add that I think in all that we've said today, kindness matters a lot. Someone can have body odor or mouth odor or might be obese, but it could be due to a health condition that you do not know about, and they might be actively working on that thing and you have no idea. So there is no need body shaming people or trying to communicate in a way that isn't polite. That's why we're emphasizing on politeness today. Was it polite and above all kind? People are dealing with a lot. Imagine if you have, okay, not you, you're a man, so you can't have PCOS, for example. But women that have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, for example, find it harder to maintain a healthy weight, for example, and it's quite natural to have that. They treat it, and if someone is going through that and you end up body shaming them for something that they have no control over, it might, I mean, it will take a toll on their mental health, and people can commit suicide over things like that, because I'm working hard to do this, and here you are thinking that I'm just relaxing and happy with my weight. People could have mouth odor halitosis, I mean, due to an infection or whatever that's going on inside their body, and you don't know. So you don't know what caused that body flaw or bodily flaw. So why making comment, why trying to communicate those flaws? Please, like Thomas said, be polite, be kind. Just be kind with your words, be kind with even the actions. If you're with your facial expression, people that people are like close their nose because you can close to them.
Over just exaggerating.
Yes, things like that can actually dampen someone's spirit and make them think about things they shouldn't think about, and they might end up committing suicide.
Exactly. If care is not,
because they're already working on it, and it seems like they're not seeing evidence yet. I know people that have been in the gym for like 2 years, but the tummy is still there. And
I remember someone telling me that she had lost her self-esteem because people always talk down on her that she's really slim, using all kinds of words. People can just walk up to you without even thinking, open their mouth and say anything, that you're as dry as this, you don't eat food, don't you eat, don't you this, and it makes her lost her self-esteem. She said once she considered suicide, and there was once she almost took a pill to make her fat. Yes. And you know what, that the danger associated with taking such pills, yes, just to get fat. And it has not been easy with her. She says if she sees every possible means to get fat, she'll get fat because of how people talk down. So I was just trying to tell her, don't worry, you're just okay the way you are. In fact, people are admiring how you look. You're not slim, and your slimness is just okay for you. Yes, and there are people out there, there are suitors out there who are looking for your kind. Someone as slim as you are and fit as you are. So don't look down on yourself. You're just okay the way you are. And she felt so good, like I've never felt this way in a long while. So we should not talk down on people because of how they look. It can be because of what you've just said. It might be the reason the person will go back to his inner home and close his door and stay indoors alone, depressed because of a word you said to him or her. And he might even consider committing suicide just because of how you talk to someone about how he or she looks.
All right, thank you, everyone. Our time is fast spent, but just to create a balance before we go, remember you can still communicate these flaws to people. Some people don't even know that they're overweight. They think it's normal to be big, that big is such a nice name to be. For example, people don't know that some people don't know that they have body odor. I don't know how it's possible. There are people who actually don't know that they have body odor. So you can still communicate.
Yes.
Just mind how.
And I want to say, even you yourself, apart from someone telling you have body odor, you should also be self-observant when you're talking to someone. You're in a close proximity with someone and you're talking to the person, and there is this repulsive reaction from the person you're talking to. You should be very observant to know that something is wrong. Or you're talking to someone in a close proximity and you see the facial expression on the person's face, that repulsive reaction. You should know that something is wrong. Sometimes you can just test yourself how your mouth smells. Maybe you can take your palms close to your mouth and blow out the air and try to perceive how your mouth smells. Yes, that way I think it can go a long way for you to do something about it.
And if you have a health condition that is making you overweight or develop some kind of odor,
you can always
keep working on it.
Yes, you can always meet a health practitioner. If it's body odor, you can meet a dentist and something could be done about it. Yes.
Just keep working hard and know that, you can become a better version of yourself. And thank you everyone for taking our time to listen to us today here on NYC Radio 88.3 FM Abuja. My name, as always, Emmanuel Ebo. Thank you, Joseph Thomas, for taking our time today. Coming up next.